Okay, here we are. As promised, tool review with a live comparison, right? Klein Flick Blade versus the Milwaukee Fastback. First of all, Flick Blade, that's a no-go for me. That's a bad name. Anyway, let's start. Actually, I want to preface something. I am not part of the Red Army, okay? I do like Milwaukee tools. I use a ton of their hand tools because they're a great competitor for Klein. It's not even about competition. They just make great hand tools, in my opinion. I run DeWalt as my power tools, okay? And that's not because I have anything against Milwaukee. It's just what I run right now. There was a special when I went to buy tools, and the special was on DeWalt. For 12 volt, Milwaukee's the king. And I do have some of those, but for the main part, I run DeWalt 20 volt tools. I probably will pick up some Milwaukee next year or whenever the deals come out if some of my tools die. But DeWalt, they've been running damn strong. Alright, now time for the tool review. Klein Flick Blade, Milwaukee Fastback. Already commented the name Flick Blade. That's a no-go. Okay, let's start with the things I like on here. One, I do like the fact that the screwdriver pops out and is a little miniature nut driver, or an emergency nut driver is how I would call it. I think that's a great option, and I love that about this tool. Okay, next, I'm 50-50 on. So far I like it, but I can see that it's annoying sometimes. Is not only does it open all the way, right, like a regular Flick Blade, but you also have a 45-degree lock for when you really need to torque down, you know, get on that thing. Sorry. I used it when I was cutting on some Ouija board. Since it was cementitious, it just helped me get a little bit extra oomph on there. Okay? Now, as far as things I like, oh, one more thing. This notch, the notch for stripping wire, it is squared off instead of rounded like the Milwaukee. Unlike the Milwaukee, here's the Milwaukee, it's rounded. It is deeper set, and it is bigger, so you can get a bigger gauge wire in there. I don't find the deeper set to be a problem. Maybe some people won't like that, but you know, just stick your finger in there like that and get your twist on to get your strip. Alright, now that's the end of what I like. Oh, well, one more thing. This texture right here, very aggressive. I love that. Like it right here on my thumb. And on the 45, it's great. Okay, now to negatives. Sorry, my nose is running. Back to this. Here's a negative for me. Ready for it? Bam. That's it. It's just a single-sided Phillips number 2. I get the idea, right? Let's say you're looking for a nut driver even though you have a million, but you can never find one when you really need one. Pop this in your impact. You got your bit kit with you, even though you should have a nut driver in there. And then you can put any bit you want in there. So I get why they did it like that, but I use the flathead all the time on the Milwaukee. Mostly to screw in things like wall plates. Whoa, I'm way off. Wall plates. Or to straighten out the screws on wall plates. Right? After following up on some sloppy work. Possibly a handyman or... Sorry, I'm kidding. I don't want to hate on handyman. There's some good ones out there. That's how I started. But just take pride in your work. And if I see some crooked fasteners for wall plates, I'll just go ahead and straighten them out. Now, another dislike is the detent. Look at that. It's already, look how wobbly that is. But there, it comes out very smooth, but I don't like that. I wish it would lock more. The detent at the right angle is sloppy. You can actually, the detent's so bad, you can actually flick it out. I wouldn't recommend that because I did that earlier and the nut driver flew off and I just thought it was gone. Eventually I found it inside my construction helmet, my hard hat. Anyway, the detent is not strong. The locking mechanism there is, we'll give them that. Now another, the clip. First the Milwaukee. Love the wire clips. Love them. Don't rip my pockets. Don't poke me. Anything like that. This kind of clip, especially with that huge lip right there, I don't like these. They always rip my pocket, for one. And when it comes to the tape measures, I do like my Klein tape measure, but I can't wear it unless I have a tool belt or a tape holster, because the clip is a son of a bitch to get into your side if you try and put that onto your belt. The Milwaukee one is just invisible. Another plus with Milwaukee clips is I have never, ever, on my tape measure or any other, had one come loose. Never had to retighten. Now, we'll see about this one. I don't think I will, because it's double locked and it's in there with hexes. Not like those Stanley Fat Max where I have to put the clip back on every 2 days. Anyway, let's see, any more dislikes? Yes, one huge one. No blade storage. Man, that's a big one for me. That basically kills it for me. I love the blade storage. I started with the Milwaukee that can store 5 blades, which I think they actually even came out before this. This one was a little more scarce at the time. And that's what I started with, and I fell in love with having blade storage on my knife. Even back on the old DeWalt's where the back opened up and you could store blades. That was my first entry into blade storage on a knife, and I loved it except for how fat that handle was. It was like a damn inch. But I still liked it. Oh, one more negative. The ergonomics. Yeah. Just feels like, I don't know, just nothing great. Just feels like you picked up a $2 utility knife. Now, is that going to kill you during the day? No, you're just going to pick it up and you're going to use it. But it is just, it's there. It's there. It's very noticeable when you pick up a fastback, right? Especially this one that's skinnier, the 6-in-1 or 5-in-1, whatever they call this. This ergonomics on this, extremely superior. Better clip, better ergonomics, and like I said, this here is a big deal that it's double-ended. I use this flathead one 60% of the time at least, for what I already explained. This one I do use. It comes in very handy. Maybe I have to take something off of a tool. Maybe I have to twist in a drywall screw just to get it under, just to get it, you know, beveled in, dimpled in, whatever. I love the fact that it's double-sided, and it's got a little retaining ball there. I like that. This one, I think, is more focused on, yeah, I can see it. There's a magnet in the bottom of there, which is neat. So that means when you use this, I do believe it is magnetized. I don't really have any way to test it right now. Let's see. If it is magnetized, it's very weak. So, looks like there's a magnet in there, but I'm not positive on that. Alright. Let's put this one down. Now to this. Ergonomics king. Right? This locks into place. No wobble. Nothing. That's another problem I have with this, actually, because of this little hex key thing. It is very wobbly. Very wobbly. You could just see that, how bad the detent was. I was wobbling like this. Let's go and see how, like it's just sloppy, you know. When it gets into place, this part, the part that's supposed, not the hex key, it does lock well, but the hex key makes it very wobbly. I do think there's some things they could do about that, because their 11-in-1 impact doesn't seem to do that. Now, love that this has a detent ball. It locks your bit in place. The only thing that is annoying is that when you're on the flathead side, you have to put it in the right way. There's some ways where if you put it in, it won't go in. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I swear, maybe my old one was defective. There were a couple times where I felt like I struggled putting it in flathead side. Well, there you... Oh, no, there it goes. It went in. Alright, so I'm wrong about that. But detent-wise, like I was talking about, especially on the right angle, you can... There's a audible click and a physical click. And it's not going anywhere. It's not trying to... Like, it's just got a good detent, just like I said. This right here, great locking. The coup de grace on this knife for me, oh yeah, we did talk about this, I believe, is the texture right here. That great aggressive texture. There's some texture on the actual handle, but it's not too much. I mean, I guess it's enough, especially since you're using it like this and not on a 45 degree, but... The texturizing right here is definitely superior. Okay. Now, the thing that takes the absolute cake for me, blade storage. Like I was saying before, I know it can only hold one blade. By the way, the mechanism to take the blade in and out is the same. I know that there's some where this like flips down and all that. But blade storage is a big deal for me. And the fact that not only does it store your blade, like so, but it locks it into place. That thing will not come out. I used to find that annoying, but now that I love it, because they do leave a little room, which I think in the earlier prototypes that wasn't there. They leave a little room right there so that the blade just falls right out. Okay? So... all in all, Milwaukee's the winner. One more thing, the coup de grace, bottle opener. Bottle opener, bottle opener. Not one on here, which, in my humble opinion, is a little bit prejudiced to us blue-collar guys. Because every time you buy a 12-pack of screwdrivers, they got a bottle opener with the acetate handle. My carabiner for my keys, that's got a bottle opener on it. Now that I've pointed it out, or maybe you guys already noticed, but a lot of blue-collar tools have bottle openers integrated into them. Which is, you know, it is what it is. It's not like it's hard racism or anything, but... maybe they just know their market. I don't drink beer. Well, I do, but I don't really drink much. But I do kill those Mexican Cokes, and this comes in handy for that. Now, that's it. Didn't mean for it to be this long. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some info out of it. Comment. Tell me what kind of knife you use. If you do like the Klein, please explain to me why. Because in my opinion, this is your EDC. And this one is something to be kept near your impact. Like in the bag where you keep your impact or your drill. So that just in case you can't find one of your 100 nut drivers, you got one right there. One more plus I just thought about is how it is so small. That will work for popping into your gun and maybe fitting in between those studs. Sometimes I have a problem with that because my nut drivers are about this big. So getting into tight spaces when I'm not using my installation driver, that is. But that does not have a torque anvil on it or a hammer mechanism. So you have to pre-drill your holes. But that's a plus. Alright, so, big winner chicken dinner right here. Thanks for watching.